extremely rapid rates, but rates that also vary, like Morse code would. Other times I hear distant singing. Other times I hear bells. Bells that are chiming as if in a distant wind, heard through a fog, that are saying, just remember, home exists. You're always homecoming, Justin. Just pull the wool out of your goddamn gross chimp ears and get real for a minute. You'll always hear them. You're always returning to source. It's always available. It's home. Such a thing exists as home. Very, very nice. Of course, when I say that, if you felt a sense of longing, then you have felt what I felt when I heard the bells. And put it to you another way, because there's been other things I've heard, clearly. For many years, it was just cacophonous background music in the style of heavy metal, I swear. When it came, all that I could hear was distant, extremely fast guitar solos, electric guitar solos, some kind of vocals of who knows what artist, and really, really fast drums, but just really distant, as if through a really poorly tuned radio. I'm gonna go this way. So, I can point you to another place where I hear bells like that. Oh God, can I? It's been so long. I'm gonna try. There are two songs by the band Soulfly. One is called one is called Zombie. It's a long song. I think Soulfly has a couple of Zombie songs. One is metal, the other is ambient. And you really gotta hang in there to get to the bells on the ambient one. But that's the one I'm referring to. Same sense. Homecoming. A bit less clear when I listen to that version of the feeling I'm talking about, that is. So you get Zombie, and Soulfly's got another song. I think it's Soulfly 5. That's the name of it, I think. They do these self-titled tracks on most of their albums. They're heavy metal albums. And the heavy metal albums rule. The heavy metal songs rock. Shout out to Last of the Mohicans. Jesus. Will you relax? No, please don't. And also, there's this one, maybe two songs on each album that are absolutely not that. Same intensity. Different instruments, different intentions. Maybe, I don't know. Zombie is on the third album, I think. And then, I think it's the fifth album. Because Soulfly 5, right? You're just gonna have to do the research yourself, I'm sorry. I can only help you so much. Just YouTube it and see if near the end of the song that comes up when you type in Soulfly 5 on YouTube, if what happens after a few minutes is that there's some silence, or at least some almost silence, and then you start hearing some Latin guitar, some seductive Latin guitar, and then that does its thing for a little while, and then it's done. And then, very clearly, the way that I often hear them in my brain, on my own, are the bells. Something like that. Beautiful. Homecoming. So, Tool does that on the, I think, second break. Which is like kind of a fractal of the message I take from the song, which is there's something beneath this. A lot of noise, a lot of emotions, there's words. But beneath it is a rhythm. Beneath it is a song. Beneath it are homecoming bells that are always playing whether you're listening or not. And I always receive a great emotional spark when I hear that sound. Because I feel like I'm being reeled back in to source. Or I feel like Gus, capital G, God, universe, spirit, God, universe, source, whatever you want to call it, is out on the porch at the end of the day. Sun's going down. Sheep are out by the pasture. We hit the bell. They hit the bell. And then we remember the truth that we are the one ringing the bell. And that we are on the ride on out, coming home. And of course, the beauty being that the song goes on after that. Even after that sound stops, and the slower bass and the slower words and the slower everything resume. Just like you can get lost in these moments, these accidental moments of Zen-like Satori, where there's no dualistic mechanical operation across your systems to speak of, and there's just a thing happening. And that's the best language I can put to it. Remember, in this podcast, we're always calling ourselves processes. Well, it's just the process. Song is a better word for it. I think song reaches people more. I don't want to get too surgical with my language. I think I run afoul of that sometimes because I stubbornly cling to terms. Stubbornly cling to intellectual override of basic senses, which I call them basic. I just mean they work really, really, really well. And that they're probably more close to source than the thoughts are. If the second you say something like source, you can then use a freaking word to apply dimensionality to whatever statement you're trying to make. I mean, we really get tangled up in the weeds when we're listening to Tool. Don't worry, hey, would you like a portent of things to come? As long as we're talking Tool. As long as we're talking talking cool. Blech. Parodying, really. We went over Intention a little bit. At some point, we're doing the song called Jimmy. It's a good song. Another time, we're probably going to do the song called H. Third Eye, I think it's self-explanatory. Or it would do you no good to hear my riff on it. Just go listen. Listen to Third Eye. Actually, when you do listen to Third Eye, leave a comment, leave a like, and we'll talk about it. Because actually, now that I think about it, there's at least one part that I'm really moved by, but I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't heard it. We're going to do plenty of Pucifer songs, including Mama Said, including Horizons. What else? What other songs? Oceans is pretty good. I like that. I could riff on that. Oh yeah, Balls to the Wall, Silent Servant El Guapo mix. You bet your living bahookie. You bet your bespoke 2 front teeth that we're going to be taking a chunk out of that one, because it's one of those, like the whole Tool album Undertow, which was the first album that I ever really sank my teeth into and had some alone time with, but was really young for the listening. Balls to the Wall, Silent Servant El Guapo mix by Pucifer had me in the same way, where it was so surface unpleasant to listen to it, but as I listened again and again, turned it on at weird times, in weird moods across vast expanses of weeks and months, a couple years down the line, I freaking love that song. I love it. By the way, another one of those ambient songs. You'll know you made it to the right song if you hear the following thing. That's all I'm going to give you. There's no words, by the way. Not in that mix. By the way, the album that comes from is called Donkey Punch the Night Away. It's got a picture of a donkey getting hit by a fist. And guess what the color is in this essentially monochromatic display? Purple. I think it's at least half a remix album. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna cover that one because there's power there, and because Balls to the Wall, that version, and the other version that Puscifer does called Pillow Fight Mix with words. Both of those songs, both those mixes are covers, believe it or not, heavily remixed and thought about covers from a different band called Black Flag. If you want to hear the original version of Balls to the Wall, you're going to have to YouTube Balls to the Wall, Black Flag. It's worth a listen. We're going to check out Puscifer's Smoke and Mirrors, Simultaneous, Galileo. We're basically going to cover the whole Money Shot album. My God. I'm still percolating a lot on Existential Reckoning, their most recent album. But we already talked about Bedlamite. More on that later. That album, that is. Maybe. What else do I like? Gorillaz. We're going to go for some Gorillaz. I like Dare. I like Stylo. Are you kidding me? Let's clean our room and turn on some Stylo. Jeez. Let's hit the weights and turn on some Dare. Or write something really vulnerable and turn on some Dare. Whew. M1A1, I think, is the name of another song that's really nice. I'll probably have to go over and listen to the whole ography of Gorillaz before I'm confident in talking too much. Fireflies by Gorillaz. You bet we're going over that one. I don't know what to make of it. I need to listen to about 1,000 more times. But we'll talk about it. God, we got a lot to cover. Maybe I should just do a masterclass. How about that? Actually, I guess this is a masterclass. How to do the thing that I'm doing. Because clearly it's working. Because clearly I'm still doing it. And of all the things in my life, this thing has the fewest reasons to do it except just to do it. Yeah, running can be good for you. Can be. Yeah, talking can be good for you. What else? Oh, man. There's a zillion of them, aren't there? There's a couple of songs by Incubus that I like quite a bit. I wouldn't mind hitting up on some Dave Matthews either. That gosh darn demonic weirdo. Whew. Maybe not, though. Maybe not. I'm only going to follow my interests. I'll only say what I want to say. I can't believe we made it through Intention today. And there's always more to say, of course, but have a listen. What's that one? Just for the boyishness of it. Just because, as a fella coming up, I can make a couple of references, one to a band, one to a song. Of course, the band is Rush. They have a lot of great songs, which we'll go over some of them. Between the Wheels, Main Monkey Business. Oh God, Faithless. Whew, that's a good one. That's the one right there. Talking about, how about the big money? That's a good one. A lot of them maybe we don't need to talk about. Who knows? I'm not going to talk about Tom Sawyer. I'm sorry. Although it does address what I was talking about a second ago, which was a fella just coming up in the world, trying to make his meat, trying to make his salt. The song I was thinking of, though, the band was Rush, but the song was by Sting, and it was called The Pugilist Who Learned How to Dance, I think was the one. And it was just so nice. It just maybe so happened that it was a newer song. I really don't listen to Sting that much, but I just stumbled upon it one night early on in my cat sitting adventures with my stepdad and those guys. Well, they were away, and their house at that point was like this weird spindly tower that you had to walk. I think it's called split level. You have to walk upstairs or downstairs. You got to make a decision right as you hang your coat, which I guess makes the first area either a landing or a lobby when you walk inside. I don't know. Felt like a damn tower. Felt like a wizard's tower. Felt cool. I loved the upstairs portion especially, and had a good time with it. Found my way to that song, and I'm trying to remember. Was that during Sober September? 3 years ago? Jesus. I'm trying to remember. 4 years ago? Fuck. Too much time has passed. Doesn't matter. Good song. Pretty much self-explanatory as well. I just like the feeling and I wanted to express it, so I brought it up. This is my podcast. Let's see. Other songs. If any. Doesn't matter. If it comes up, it comes up. There's no doing this thing wrong like we were talking about earlier. A couple of times now. As always, I did not expect to run this long. That was not my intention when I set out this morning and put my pants on. Second or third thing. Yeah, gonna feel this one. But good, let's check the time. 1:24. Damn, I'm probably not gonna get home in the next 10 minutes. Maybe 15. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Whew. Keep reminding myself to check on the phone to see what the angle is. Anyway, as always, the plan is upload this ASAP so that should I choose to do it, I can do another one of these podcasts tomorrow. Yay! Anyway, isn't that nice? Got some breeze, got some trees, got the sidewalk. Homecoming, got it. Did we actually speak to integrity? I guess we did speak to integrity. It's just like there's this process. There's just this process of listening, and that we all go through that I'm just kind of focused on right now, which is like the why. Why am I showing up like this? Why do these things mean things to me? Why does this move me? Recently, I'm much more into the what and the why of things than the how and the when. Oh my gosh, my pinky on my right hand keeps freezing, and I keep having to pull it really hard so it cracks. But it keeps resetting itself into this frozen position. This is not good. I'll have to, I don't know exactly what. Well, it's just one more little thing. Give it some love. Oh yeah. Maybe for now we'll just keep it curled or something. Whew. Yeah. Ride along with Run Man. We've been riding. Talk to me. Are you swilling some Gatorade right now? You got your Diet Coke. You got your lemongrass infused tea. Drinking some hot cocoa. Are you eating a solid loaf of bread alone in the middle of the night, scratching your ass at the same time? Ah, I gotcha. If you are. Come on, we've all been there. Hey, look at me. We've been there. Remember that song by Devo we talked about a few times ago? Peekaboo. I see you. I know what you do, 'cause I do it too. Dirty human chimp motherfuckers. I love us to death. I love us. And our weirdness. And our triumphs. The times we tantrum. The times that we don't. Hugging. Woo, hugging is coming back. Oh man. What feels better than a human hug? Well, okay. Wrong question. How good does a human hug feel? How about that? Why are we always comparing stuff? I would say such songs will be gone over in this podcast as She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain When She Comes and Row, Row, Row Your Boat. I don't think I need to. You know what I'll do instead? If you're looking for commentary on some of the basic songs, some of the old stories passed down by generation, I wonder if today's children are learning Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and all those, or some of those. I wonder how Western those Western songs are, or if maybe they aren't Western songs, or if they're so close to songs elsewhere, it's impossible or unnecessary to throw an extra dichotomy in there, and it's all just kind of the old legends. I'm interested in the old legends. But I was about to give you a prerogative. An invitation. Breathe. That's nice. If, my friends, you are curious about those songs and you want to hear them in detail, or at least you want to hear somebody reckoning their way through some of those songs, or at least wrestling with the concepts that some of those songs portray, or invite you to consider, let's say, I want to keep things loose and above board around here. This is my podcast, after all. Then I would advise you to look up the Peaceful Warrior books, particularly number 3, The Hidden School. Go ahead and, because The Hidden School and Sacred Journey of the Peaceful Warrior both take place within like a 3/4 page second of text space within the second third of the first book, if any of that made any sense to you. Because they're midquels. How about that? They're midquels. They're not prequels. They're not sequels. They happen within the events of the first book. But because of that, there's a timeless aspect considered in these novels, in these books. So you can read them out of sequence. I recommend reading Peaceful Warrior first, Sorry, let's actually say the whole title. The Way of the Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman. Read it, and if you really want to have some fun, read it up to page, I don't know, I think it's 184, and get like 3/4 of the way down that page. Then read the other 2 books. Then come back. You'll get a different experience than what I got. I read the whole first book first. I don't know if there was a third book when I was first getting around to finishing the first book. Boy. Got a little warm out. Hey, it's June. No, it's not. It's not. It's the last day of May. I was going to say, look at us. We did our first hour and a half. We're official. I don't know, man. I've got a lot going on. Isn't that always the excuse? Did I not get up at like 8:50 when I could have gotten up at 7? Well, furthermore, did I not wake up at 7 and then go back to sleep? Even when I could have been up at dawn and stayed up, since I am up at dawn every day. Though I never stay up at dawn. Sometimes I do. I did once this week. That was 2 days ago. Delirium. Thy Name Be podcast. If you're just tuning in, I can't imagine you are, but the world is bigger than what I can imagine, isn't it? You are tuning in to Ride Along with Ron Man podcast with your host Ron Man. That's me. Taking one left and one right at a time through paradise with our eyes wide open here in sunny California in the late spring, early summer of our year 2021, of our current present year 2021, on podcast number 21, actually, now that I think about it. That's right. I thought about that before, too. Right around here, in fact, at the beginning of the run. We have looped around. We've shared some times, shared some laughs. You know when you put a rock into a rock tumbler and all the edges get banged out? That's me right now. Whew. Other than that it's very difficult to lift my feet, I'm right as rain. Morale is so high. Mood so high. Whew. Apparently high as an owl. Hoot, hoot, hoot. We made it. Yeah, this is the point of the podcast. I'm familiar with this feeling. I'm not familiar talking this deep into a run. We've done it a few times on the pod so far. So best to orient through practice, right? Let's continue to practice this. I'm aware that I have this sense that I'm very streamlined. Just kind of quietly cruising. Nothing's the matter. Nothing is here that doesn't need to be here. Just you and me. A couple of cards. Slipping out the deck and finding their way to the four winds. That's us. We're gonna seize it. And we're gonna play those cards. My analogy has completely disintegrated. What was a nice image, budding, did not land. and I'm unrepentant. The point is, I took a shot, didn't I? Well, there's a Rush lyric for you. If the dice are hot, take a shot. That is from a album called Roll the Bones. A song called Roll the Bones. That's a really good one. It says, who knows, man? I'm not qualified for that. Here's what I've got, though. Oh my God. What a fool I am. I've locked myself out of the house. Before I rogue my way around and make some calls or something. Let's just chill. I was saying something about Roll the Bones. Well, the chorus is, why are we here? Because we're here. Roll the bones. You know what that reminds me of before we do the 3 breaths? The Game Grumps, a couple of YouTubers that I like to watch, they host a comedy show where they play video games at the same time. They're neither that great at games, nor are they that funny. But they take the shot every time, and that's not what I was thinking to say. What I was thinking to say was, at one point, they were either texting each other or something, and they brought it up on their show, that 2 of their favorite phrases were the following. One was, we're in. Or I'm in, I'm in. As in, like, rogue operatives or card players or that kind of thing. And the second one was take the shot. So if the dice are hot, take a shot. Maybe that's all that I need to say for Roll the Bones. We can put that one to bed. Which means this is a twofer. We put 2 songs to bed. Fitfully, I'm sure. Am I ever going to stop talking about any of these things? Probably not. If it still excites me, I'll still keep yammering. But between now and then... posture. Ooh. Sitting up. Uncoiling the... Oh, yeah! Uncoiling the wire. Oh, my forearm is free. And rotating it. Ooh, I think when you draw your thumb in such a way that it points at your torso, your forearm could be said to be adducted. We can adduct the forearm and the wrist and the hand. Oh my God. That is